Okay, we'll start today's session without wasting time. We are going to study about the survey research. So which all methods did we study till now? Can Amal tell me? The first one was observation method. Then what did we study? Methods of inquiry. What was the main topic that we dealt with yesterday? Which method were we studying? Which method?
Observation method.
Yes?
Observation method.
Sorry?
Huh?
After observation method, what did we learn?
An experiment.
Experimental method. And this is the third one, that is survey research or survey method. Here, is anybody else waiting? Okay. Yes, Grishma is waiting. Yeah. Survey research is defined as the collection of information from a sample of individuals through their responses to questions. Survey research came into existence to study opinions, attitudes, and social facts. So, you all told me that you're very familiar with this particular method, which is the survey method. And as the name of this method suggests, we use survey as the means to collect information from the participants of our study, of our research. That is what we do. And in definition, you can note this definition. This is not there in your textbook. It can be defined as the collection of information from a sample of individuals through their responses to questions. So in surveys, there will be a set of questions, and these participants of our study, they are supposed to answer to these questions, or they are supposed to respond to these questions in various forms. And this particular responses form our information or our data. That is how a survey research is done. And initially, or in the beginning, the survey method was used to study opinions about different things, attitudes, that is viewpoints towards different things, then social facts, any socially relevant facts that exist in a society. Then the main concern initially was to find out the existing reality or the baseline. So survey researchers, they were initially done to understand the existing reality about a particular really people follow. To find out that, we conduct a survey. Then, yeah, the next point is examples include the surveys conducted to find out the literacy rate at a particular time, attitude towards marriage, etc. So last class, you guys gave me so many examples regarding survey. So these are just two examples for which surveys are done, that is to find out the literacy rate at a particular time. In a particular period of time, we need to measure, or we need to study the literacy rate of the people of that area. For that, we use surveys. We also use surveys to know the attitude towards marriage, whether they prefer love marriage, whether they prefer arranged marriage, whether they prefer assisted marriages, like that. They are just two examples. You can give any example as you like. Then, the techniques used for collecting information here are as follows. So in survey research as such, we are going to learn about three main type of surveys. One is about the personal interviews. Through personal interviews, we are going to do a survey. Then the other method is telephone surveys. The other one is questionnaire surveys. So one was personal. If personal is not possible, we do through telephone. And if that is not possible, we give questionnaires. Those are the three methods that we are going to learn under survey research. Okay, it's not much complicated. You just have to learn what these three methods are of collecting data, and also you have to learn what type of questions are being asked in a survey research. Okay, not much complicated as the earlier ones. So here it is, the first one. So I show you a picture. This is a combined picture of survey research. In the background picture, you can see the personal interview going on, and in the right side, the lower portion, you can see the telephone interview going on. In the left side, in the lower portion, you can see the questionnaires being answered. So this forms the survey research that we are studying right now. In our topic, these many topics are covered. Understood? Okay. So we'll move on to the first one, that is personal interviews. Two or more persons sit face to face with each other, in which one person, generally called interviewer, asks the questions and the other person, called interviewee or respondent, answers the questions related to a problem. So there'll be two people, or regarding the general model, there are two people. One person is the person who asks the question. So he will be the interviewer, and the person being interviewed is called the interviewee, or the person being questioned is also known as the respondent, because he or she has to respond to the questions of the interviewer or the researcher. Understood? So mainly in personal interviews, we have face-to-face conversations or interactions, and what happens there is the question and answering sessions take place. The interviewer asks the questions and the interviewee answers the questions or responds to those questions. That's what happens in a personal interview. Now, an interview is a purposeful activity conducted to derive factual information, opinions and attitudes, and reasons for particular behavior, etc. from the respondents that we discussed earlier itself. Now, the list of questions that we prepare beforehand is called the interview schedule. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank God. Okay, everybody, switch on your videos fast. We don't have much time. Uh, yes, we were talking about personal interviews, and now where's the screen gone? God. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, personal interviews, as we told, face-to-face interactions take place, and we were talking about interview schedule. The list of questions that we prepare beforehand is called the interview schedule. So before conducting the interview, we set or write down a set of questions which is to be asked to the interviewee during the interview. That particular list of questions that we prepare prior to the interview is known as interview schedule. If I ask you an interview schedule, you have to explain this happens when this is important when an interview takes place, and write down what an interview is, and then write what an interview schedule is. Explain about it. Okay. An interview schedule is basically the questions that we prepare beforehand prior to the interview. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, there can be two broad types of interviews, and they are. This comes under personal interviews. Okay. Inside the survey method, we are learning three methods. That is personal interview, telephone surveys, as well as questionnaire surveys. And in two types of interviews. There are structured in two types, and structured interviews are also called standardized interviews. We'll see why. Here the questions in the schedule are written clearly in a particular sequence. The interviewer has little or no liberty to make changes in the wordings of the question. Sometimes the responses to, or the order in which they are to be asked. So the question sometimes the responses to or the order in which they are to be asked. So when you see the structure, it structure that is already set, or also known as standardized interview. What happens is we already have a standardized set of questions, and we ask these questions to the interviewee, and they are supposed to give responses for that. And suppose we set it as multiple choice questions. So the experiment itself, and the experiment who does the survey or the interviewer doesn't have the right to change those questions again according to his or her wish. And he can also, I mean, he is not allowed to change the order in which the questions are asked also. That is basically structured interview. Now unstructured interview, what happens is just the opposite of this. The person, that is the interviewer, has the right or is allowed to change these questions in whichever way they like, and there is flexible nature. They can change. If they don't want to change, they don't need to change, and the questions can be changed, the wordings can be changed, the sequence in which the questions are asked might be changed. All those factors is changeable. It can be varied in an unstructured interview. Now note that interviews require time and is not much cost effective, but they are flexible, adaptable, and hence provide in-depth information and can be used with children as well as illiterate people. These are the main disadvantages and advantages of interview method, not the survey method that we learn in the final portion, but this is regarding the interview method. So what are they? It requires time. So if the respondents take a lot of time, and we are keeping on asking questions, then it is very time consuming, and it is not much cost effective, because if we are trying to interview a special population, like cancer patients and all, we have to undergo certain formalities to approach them. So it's not much cost effective. Now, regarding the advantages, they are flexible, then adaptable, hence provide in-depth information. We can get in-depth information through an interview, and can be used with children as well as illiterate people. So if we give a questionnaire to the children, or if we um, conduct a survey as a whole, we can't get much information from them. But rather, if we uh, give a personal interview, face-to-face interview with the children, we can get more information. Similarly, with the illiterate people also, it's more easy to get information from them through personal interviews. And that's about personal interviews. Now I'm going a little bit fast because we have lost so much time today. And yes, here an interview may have the following combinations of participants in an interview situation. So this is regarding the personal interview itself. These are the four situations or four types of interview that might occur. It is regarding the participants. That is it from an individual to group? Is it from the group to the individual? Or is it from group to group? Or is it from individual to individual? The first one is individual to individual, in which a situation where one interviewer interviews another person face to face. Only two people are there. Now, individual to group means one person interviews the whole group, a set of members. One interview interviews a group of persons, yes. And group to individuals means it is a situation where one group of interviewers interview one person. That is, for example, in job interviews, we have board members and the candidate who has come for the job, right? So in that case, it is group to individuals. And we have group to group. It is a situation where one group of interviewers interview another group of interviewers. So there'll be two set of people sitting face to face, and this set of people will ask questions to the other group, as well as they might ask to the this particular group. Which way they want, it is possible. So that is about the interview types based on the participants. Okay, interview types based on the participants. Note that. Before this, we learned about main two types of interviews, that is structured and unstructured interview. And here it is, interview may have the following combination of participants in an interview situation. So this is regarding the participants. Okay, don't confuse with both of them. Now, after the personal interview, we have questionnaire surveys. This consists of a predetermined set of questions, and hence is a simple, versatile and low-cost self-report method of collecting information. Predetermined set of questions means we decide the questions beforehand. Just like the interview schedule, we decide the questions to be put up in the questionnaire beforehand. And it is a simple method. It is a versatile method, means it can be flexible, it can be changed. And low cost self report method means it is not much expensive, because we just need to write down certain questions and give the response options. Then self report means if I am given the questionnaire, I can report about myself. That is self report. So this is about questionnaire survey. The respondent has to read the questions and mark the answers on paper rather than respond verbally to the interviewer. So in interview, they ask questions and we get verbal reports. But in questionnaire survey, we get a written report, or the respondent marks his or her responses on the questionnaire itself. And so we get the data in a written form than the verbal form. They are in some ways like highly structured interviews. In structured interviews, we have an interview schedule. I told you we have a predetermined set of questions. Similarly, in questionnaire survey also, we have certain questions that are set, that forms the questionnaire, and it is highly similar to the structured interview in that sense. But it is different in the sense of the responses. There we get verbal responses. Here we get written responses. Okay. And questionnaires can be distributed to a group of persons at a time who write down their answers to the questions and return to the researcher, or can be sent through mail. So these responses, they can be in written form, or we can gain them through the mail. Via mail, the respondents can send back. Yes, then they are used to collect background information like, yeah, so many, we can collect so many types of information from a questionnaire like background information, demographics, so and so. Then sometimes a survey is conducted by sending the questionnaire by mail. I told you that. The main problem of a mail questionnaire is poor response from the respondents. So when we give the questionnaire face to face, we can collect it at that time itself. But when we mail it, it is not necessary that the respondents respond to our questionnaire or mail. So the data that we get might be poor. There are generally two types of questions used in questionnaires: open-ended and closed-ended questions. We'll see what they are. That's a very simple thing. You just have to learn those terms. Open-ended means the respondent is free to answer anything. The question is open for them. Like the respondent is free to write whatever he or she considers appropriate. These are mainly descriptive type. For example, I ask you, what is your opinion about psychology? So you can give a descriptive answer. There is no fixed answer that yes, like yes or no. Or you don't have to tell me a particular answer. You can you're open to give any opinion that you feel. That is open-ended question. Now closed-ended question is the questions and their probable answers are given and the respondent is required to select the correct answer. They might be using various responses like yes or no, true or false, multiple choice, ratings, ranks or preferences, etc. So an example of that question is, are you feeling better today? So when I ask this question, you just have two options to answer yes or no, right? You can't describe it in such a way. First of all, you have to answer yes or no, and then you may explain it. But in a questionnaire, when we have this question, imagine that in a questionnaire, we have these two questions. What is your opinion about psychology? You can't finish that in one word or a sentence, right? You have to explain or describe it. But when we come to closed-ended questions, that is this example, are you feeling better today? So you have to choose either yes or no. Understood. That is the difference between open-ended and closed-ended questions. So in questionnaire surveys, we have both open-ended as well as closed-ended questions. Now we have just one more method, that is telephone survey. So first one was personal interview. Second one was the questionnaire method. Then the third one is telephone survey. These three comes under the survey method. Okay. Now, telephone survey. These include the surveys conducted through telephone, programs asking you to send your views through mobile phones, SMS. This is an example of telephone survey. Then such surveys help in reducing time. Since the respondents do not know the interviewer, the technique is fraught with uncooperative reluctance and superficial answers by the respondents. Yeah, the respondent do not know who is conducting the interview because they are doing through conducting this through the telephone. So what they do is they might not cooperate. They might not cooperate with the procedure. They might show reluctance in responding. So in this case also, just like we said about the mail, in this method also there will be some issues in the data that we get. Okay, the data or the information that we collect from this particular method might also vary depending on the subjects or depending on the respondents. Then there is also a possibility that those responding may differ from those not responding, which leads to biased results. So just imagine a situation where I am conducting a telephone survey and it is regarding some teenage issues. So I am telephoning so many people of different ages, and the older generation, they don't even know some of the terms that I'm asking. So only young generation would respond in a positive way to this. So the data that I get would be biased in nature because most of the responses would come from the teenagers. Okay. So the people who respond will differ from people who does not give any response. That is why it is said that this particular method might lead to biased results. Okay. So that is telephone survey. Now we just have advantages and disadvantages. Advantages means information can be gathered quickly and efficiently from thousands of persons. We are dealing with the advantages and disadvantages of survey method as a whole. Okay. And
Ma'am,
yes,
time
okay, just
already
a
three
minute, I'll
four.
stop it. Okay. Yeah, I'll just read through. It's self-descriptive. Since surveys can be conducted quickly, public opinions on new issues can be obtained almost as soon as the issues arise. Okay, whenever an issue arises, you can conduct the survey as and when possible. The disadvantages, people may give inaccurate information. They don't know who is conducting. They might show reluctance. They might give false information. That is one chance. Then people sometimes offer responses they think the researcher wants to hear. They'll try to make themselves very positive in nature. So they'll again give false information to the researcher. That's all. Okay. So please study the portions till this and come. Okay. When you come on Tuesday, please study this and come. Till this. Till survey method. Okay. And if you have any doubt, please ask me because I know I have been very fast today. So contact me personally. Yes, thank you. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.